All right, welcome back to the channel and our X3 Hayabusa swap project. So if you're new here, I'm a big fan of the Can-Am X3. I'm not a big fan of the CVT transmission in it. So I went out, bought myself Suzuki Hayabusa engine, and we are swapping it into this X3. Right now, Hayabusa engine only makes 170 horsepower, but once we add a turbo, it'll make a lot more than the stock X3 engine does. And once we add paddle shifters, it's gonna sound and feel a little something like this. Now, if that doesn't seem way better to you, then I don't know what you're doing. So one thing that several people have brought up in the comments and on forums is the Hayabusa engine is a lot heavier than the X3 engine, which kind of makes sense just because, you know, this has a gearbox, the other one doesn't. So one thing I was kind of curious about is, especially since it's going to be sitting higher in the chassis, right? How much heavier is it? Because that's going to contribute to more body roll, right? 'Cause it's going to raise the center of gravity. So let's see how much the difference actually is. All right, so obviously this is a little bit of an apples to oranges comparison because the Hayabusa engine is not quite as complete as the X3 engine is. Like, we don't have a turbo on it and that kind of a thing, but this will at least be close enough just to get us in the ballpark. It's actually not near as heavy as I thought it would be. I thought it was gonna be way heavier than that. 88.8 pounds. Now for the X3. Hopefully my janky ratchet straps will hold. All right, it moves. So what are we at there? 61.5 pounds. So more or less a 30-pound difference. That's actually not that bad. To put it in perspective, right, on the back of the race car, I usually put a spare tire up on the top, which weighs 60 pounds or so. And then usually there's about 30 pounds of tools down on that lower shelf. So there we go, 30-pound difference between the two. So one of the first things that we're gonna do is we need to mount this engine right before we know where anything else can go. A couple things that kind of stipulate where that can be, right? You can't go any lower than the transmission. Side to side is gonna be dictated based on how far off the sprocket setup is gonna be. And then also, we need to have room for the exhaust up here. So we're gonna pull this thing out, we're gonna put the exhaust on it, and then we're gonna set it back in place. Then we can work on cutting our tube that's gonna go from, you know, tube clamp to tube clamp. You know what? I honestly think I might call that pretty much home. I kinda like that. It almost sits nicely in there. Plenty of room down in here for turbo and stuff. All right, guys. Real quick, so was just trying to figure out how to do the front motor mounts, and I just noticed this.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f is that?
Seriously, those are wire nuts. Those should never be on a vehicle. WTF. I think that's where it's gonna go. Gonna use these two tube clamps in the back. And I'm hoping I can use one right there in the front, and then you can see the other one right there. So hoping that that'll work. We're gonna do a straight bar across the back. Okay, you know how on YouTube, usually guys, you know, cut fish mouth out of a tube and stuff, and then all of a sudden like it magically fits like perfect because they do it like 4 times off camera. No bull. That is first attempt. I'm calling that close enough. I couldn't have done that on a bet. Normally it takes me a couple times like finishing it up like with the flap disc and stuff, but that's pretty darn good. I'm not gonna lie. Also, one of the big things that any project should do is it should teach you something. One of the big things that I want this project to teach me is how to TIG weld. On the race car, I TIG welded one thing on it, and if I said it came out super warped, that would be an understatement. It came out horrendously warped to the point where I didn't even end up using it. So one of the things that I want to do on here is I want to learn how to TIG weld a lot better. Fabbed up this mount for mounting, connecting up to these rear points, but because we don't have our sprocket set up yet, because this sprocket's not going to work, we're going to have to bump it out here. So I don't know where I can mount the engine this way. So until we get the sprockets, unfortunately, kind of dead in the water on mounting the engine. Now, to me, what makes this whole project cool is the ability to shift gears, right? And personally, I love Le Mans style cars. So having a push-pull shifter, you can just like smash through the gears with, there'd be nothing better than that. In order to do that though, I run into an issue down here with clearance, right? With my foot basically on the gas pedal, just kind of my knee where it normally would go, there's not a whole lot of room here, right? Like there is very, very little room here. So when I take something that could be used as a push-pull shifter, as you can see, there's like barely any room. If I mount it here, right, there's very little room to shove it forward. And because of the seat in the way, there's very little room to pull it back. So I have an idea, and that is to bring the shifter from that location right there up through here, and we're going to snake it up through here. I don't want us to have park anymore. I do not want to be able to put this in park and then try to go, because something will probably break. So I'm going to bring the shifter up so that it comes through something like right here, and then there'll be a nice tall shift knob on here that extends up farther, but it'll be right here. And then that way, there's plenty of room. All right, so here's kind of the method to my madness a little bit. So, gonna use this tube clamp, weld that on there. Imagine that my half-inch extensions, right, are, going to be steel, and then still works, push-pull, still works good. So I think, at least for our first attempt, I'm kind of feeling like this might be, iteration number 1. Working on the shifter, right? So I made this piece right here, which is still super hot from welding. Basically, this is going to get welded onto the shifter in the car, so that way it'll slide in there the rest of the way, but that way this shifter can be taken off. So I was going to, drilled it, and I was going to put 2 bolts in here, and I was tapping that, and then the tap broke. And then decided to try the old weld a nut onto it, and thank God it worked. And I gave myself like a 1 in 100 shot of it actually working, and son of a gun, it worked. But yeah, it's never a good feeling when a tap breaks. It's never a good feeling when a bolt breaks. Drill bit's worse. Tap, it's worse still. So I'm calling that one a win. Heck yeah. Realize when the tap broke, I probably should have broke out the camera, but in the moment, I was a little too frustrated. Not frustrated, panicked. So, next time. Okay, if you look closely, you'll notice that all the square tube, most of it is now round tube, so I ended up redoing a lot of it, but I think it's going to be awesome. So, works really good, pivots nicely, and then had to make the handle removable. Otherwise, wasn't able to get the stuff out, so got to machine that piece and then obviously machine down the handle and stuff. That way you can get the shifter out. So be an easy push-pull system. As you can see, I already got the rod kind of running into the back. So that'll be the next step, is getting our pivot right back here figured out. Quick question for you, legitimate, honest question that I do need help with because I've never dealt with this before. So we have the old X3 engine, right? She runs fine, she runs great. It's got 2,000 miles on it. So my plan is that I want to keep that engine in good shape and everything else, so that way I have a spare engine. So my question to you guys is, and please comment down below, how do you store an engine, like long term? Like, what do you do? I know you can't just, you know, leave it like that because it'll rust internally, like the cylinders will get rusted and stuff like that. Do you like spray stuff like down in the cylinders, like pull the spark plugs out and spray stuff in the cylinders, or not? Or yeah, I don't know, what do you do and stuff? And then my plan was at the very end I was gonna like wrap it up with like saran wrap, like the giant packing rolls, you know. But yeah, so if you guys wouldn't mind, comment down below and let me know, what do I do? So, all right, anyway, back to the fun stuff. Right. So we got a lot of things to work on, and unfortunately, the main two, we're not gonna be able to do yet. So we're just gonna go on, you know, to the next thing. So the fuel system. Plan is, I wanna use the stock X3 fuel pump that's already in it. That fuel pump will make too much pressure for the Hayabusa. So we are gonna use the fuel pressure regulator that when we were test running the engine and stuff like that. And on top of that, I also found a fitting that will basically allow us to use the stock X3 fuel line, where that line would just connect right up to the fuel rail. I found basically this part that has a threaded AN fitting on the other end. So that is somewhere between me and the East Coast on its way here. So we're gonna basically be able to use the stock fuel system. We just need to run a return line up there. For us to save a little time and money, we're gonna pop the OEM, you know, fuel pump assembly out of there, and got this bulkhead fitting where basically we can do a -6 AN coming out the top. It's got a 5/16 line that'll run down in there. That way we can then run our AN line the rest of the way. All right, now -6 AN return line time. So basically just gonna run this down the center console and, you know, out the back. And I'm thinking fuel pressure regulator is gonna go right here because fuel inlet is right there. All right, so check this out. I just popped the passenger side cover off. What is this? Yeah, someone commented in the last video and said that it's like one of those Nylite, you know, $30 Amazon special kits. Yeah, dude's not wrong. That is trash. All right, back to running fuel line. Fuel system is basically as done as we can be until get the engine mounted, and I'm missing that one fitting that's supposed to go right in here that the stock X3 fuel line will connect up to. So go just something like that. But otherwise, ready to go. So I already have this other end on there, so once the engine's bolted in, fuel system is all plumbed. Well, that's it for me this week. Unfortunately, because of a whole bunch of shipping delays on some mission critical parts, you know, sprockets, so that way we can mount the engine and stuff. Unfortunately, we did not make near as much progress as I wanted to on that, but we definitely made a whole lot of little progress on a bunch of smaller things, so that way I think next week will be a massive week. So Hardy, I'm going to finish out the rest of my day working on the race car, trying to get it all back together and stuff. Yeah, guys will have to watch the video on all the damage that happened during our last race, because to say it was a shit show is kind of an understatement. So, all right, guys, that's all for me this week. So I'll catch you on the next one.